Hello.
Hi, everyone.
I forgot to unclick the loop button, so that's on me. Sorry, everybody. Hello and welcome to Paizo Live, our fireside chat show where we talk to our creatives about their wonderful projects and what we have coming up here. My name is Rue. I use they, he, or z pronouns, and I'm Paizo's marketing and media specialist.
And I'm Alex Feidel. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm Paizo's organized play coordinator. I'm excited about our new software we're learning live on the fly here.
Today we're going to be talking to Mike and Dustin about Starfinder Second Edition, Eleanor and James about the Tian Xia Character Guide, and Rue and Alex about Gen Con.
I know those people. I'm sure they're very interesting to look at. And don't forget, folks, as well, we are also collecting questions from the chat for our Q&A segment at the end. So make sure to get in the chat, drop those questions, and we will interrogate the creatives mercilessly at the end of the show because that's fun. But before we do any of that, and before we talk about Gen Con, Rue, what have you been playing lately?
Actually, I normally don't have a fun answer for this. This past weekend, Jenny and her partner came to visit, and they brought the Fallout board game with them, like based on the video game.
There's a board game?
There is. It took us, I think, like an hour and a half to set up. Not necessarily because that's how long it's supposed to take, but we just kept like pulling more pieces out of the box. Like, it's tile based. It's very fun, and we did win.
Oh, great.
It's that you can either play it competitively or cooperatively, and collectively we decided to play it cooperatively because we were learning the rules.
Yeah, understandable.
And we won. We got all of our we finished all of our little check lines.
Congratulations. You didn't get followed out, and there were no nukes, I assume. There were probably some nukes.
Now I'm gonna switch it up a little bit because I want to know what dice you've gotten recently, because we were talking about this earlier, and I know you have some fun ones.
Yes, I've spent like 2 of the past 3 weeks on the road. One of those at Origins, and my rule is every convention I go to, I have to get a dice set. I was not successful at this at the Library Expo for some reason. I can't imagine why. Hang on. I have no idea if this is going to show up, but my favorite dice set that I got at Origins is this, I'll do a little influencer thing here. It's this hand-painted sharp-edged dice set that's painted like Van Gogh's Starry Night. It's gorgeous and beautiful, and I love it very... Oh, wait, hang on. Where's the one you can see the little, like, towery things on there?
Oh, anyway, my gosh.
Really good. These are from... am I allowed to plug people we're not partners with? I won't, just in case.
I think that's okay.
I'll post them on my Blue Sky later. That's your incentive to check my social media feeds later. I'll post it there when I'm not on the air. But they're great, and I really like the dice that this company makes. So yeah, that's my latest hoard. I also got the free RPG Day D20 that Dispel dice.
Oh, the Dispel one,
which are just stunning. I mean, you can't see it. The camera's not doing a great job, but it's got like these like runic designs in it.
I want that so badly, and I'm hoping someone will sell them like theirs on eBay later because I need that. It's so me.
My favorite thing about Dispel dice is that in the little boxes at the bottom, it says, "I will not eat the dice."
It's contractually binding when you open them.
Yeah, because they know that they are the forbidden snack. Anyway, we're also not partnered with Dispel dice, so I shouldn't talk up that much. But the die is so pretty. So, anyway, those are my new dice acquisitions. Thank you very much. Tune in at Gen Con when I will spend more than I will tell anyone else about on dice.
Speaking of Gen Con, why don't we throw it over to us to talk about Gen Con?
Why don't we do that? What a perfect segue I actually didn't plan. My goodness, Gen Con is in 20 days. I get on a plane in 16 days. Don't make that face, Rue. It's great. I get on a plane in 16 days for Gen Con, and I'm super excited about it. It's probably our biggest show of the year. Definitely a great chance for folks to check out all the Paizo stuff. Rue, what all is releasing at Gen Con? Because we have just like so much releasing on August 1st.
Oh, yeah. So we have a big event for both of our lines, honestly, at Gen Con. We're going to start with Pathfinder because, as some of you may or may not know, we've been remastering our core rules for Pathfinder over the last year or so, starting last November with Player Core and GM Core. We came out with Monster Core earlier this year, and at Gen Con, we will have the wonderful Player Core 2. You can see all 3 of its covers here. Player Core 2 comes in the standard cover, which you can see, the special edition foil, and the hobby retailer exclusive sketch cover. So you can get those at your From We local game store. And I heard from a little birdie on our socials that you can also get them at our booth at Gen Con for that weekend only.
I just listen, the sketch covers are great and I love them and they're fantastic. I cannot get over the foil detail on the special edition cover though. I'm sorry, that is so good.
Sonia did such an amazing job with those. They are beautiful. Much
love
to our art director, Sonia. She is amazing. And also something cool about these books in particular, and any of our Pathfinder rule books, as you all may know, all of our rulebook covers are done by Wayne Reynolds. And we will actually have Wayne Reynolds at the booth with us to be doing signings at the booth. So you can bring your books and have them get signed. We'll also have prints available for purchase. Essentially, it's going to be all signatures all the time.
Hey, is there like an upper limit on how many things I can get him to sign? Because I have several sketch covers here.
Can you put them in your suitcase?
Yes.
Also for Pathfinder, you may have heard something. We have a big event coming up. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called the War of Immortals. And while that rulebook itself doesn't release until October, the event kicks off with Pray for Death, which is an adventure that is releasing at Gen Con. And while Vanessa couldn't be here to talk to us about it today because it was very short notice, we did manage to get this wonderful quote from her. And Vanessa says that she thinks that Pray for Death is her greatest work alongside Rusthenge. These two are her masterpieces, and she's proud that if she had any adventure that had to be the last that she would write for Paizo, it was Pray for Death.
It's so good. It's so good.
Pray for Death is a 14th level adventure where you all play as members of the Red Mantis Assassins Guild who have been sent on a mission that ties in very heavily with the War of Immortals event, and playing this adventure is actually how you get to witness Gorham's death on screen, so to speak. So you will definitely want to pick this up at Gen Con. But of course, Pathfinder isn't the only one who has fun, new, exciting things coming. If you looked at our title, you might see that we have some guests from the Starfinder team coming up soon. And that is because the Starfinder Second Edition playtest launches August 1st at 10 a.m. at Gen Con. And you can catch up with all of the sneak peeks we've shown by going to starfinderplaytest.com. And you can also go to starfinderplaytest.com at 10 a.m. on August 1st. That is 10 a.m. Eastern.
I was going to say 10 a.m. Eastern.
In Indiana. And you can download the PDF of the playtest rulebook for free, or you can purchase the softcover version, which we will have online in your local game stores and at the show. Launching alongside that, there are a couple of organized play adventures, which we'll hear a little bit more about later when we talk to the Starfinder team, as well as a full-length first level adventure written by Jenny Jarzabski called A Cosmic Birthday, in which you witness the birth of a new nascent cosmic entity. Which
it's fine. It's so fine.
I'm really excited about because I love cosmic horror. And also I think that cosmic horror for first level characters is possibly the best way you could throw someone into a campaign.
It's great. It's great. It's so good. I'm so excited for it.
Now, obviously, we care a lot about products that we're selling at Gen Con. But what else is happening at Gen Con? Where can people find us, Alex?
What isn't happening and where can't people find us, truly? I mean, like, if it is your first Gen Con, you have such options, not just for us, but for everyone. But we're going to talk about us today. I've actually prepared a little visual graphic to help people out because we're in so many places. This is highly unofficial graphics, so, like, take it with a grain of salt. But this is a map of the convention center. Our big two locuses, in Hall J at booth 203. I'm circling it on my screen like you all can see. The little yellowy star there is booth 203. That is the Paizo booth. That is where you can go and buy all sorts of stuff, buy all of our products. Be there 10 a.m. when the doors open to get your copy of the Starfinder playtest. Up in the Sagamore Ballroom, up on the second floor, the little green star that's there, that's our main hub for gaming. If you're doing scenarios, if you're doing quests, if you want to come up and try out our games, if you want to try out one of our board games, that's sort of our main gaming locus. We're right smack in the center of the Sagamore Ballroom. Just wander on in and say, I would like to play something, and we will help you out. We've also got 2 other locations where there's some stuff going on. In Hall C is our demo tables. We've got a few different demo tables if you want to try out the Starfinder playtest or Pathfinder Second Edition. We'll have GMs on hand to run you through like a 45-ish minute experience. Just sort of get your feet wet, you know, just sort of sit down and roll some dice real quick. So come check us out in Hall C, basically as far away from our booth as you can get on the first floor. And also we are working with Sirenscape to run some demos in their booth as well, with maybe some fun sound effects as well. So check us out. Sirenscape's booth is sort of in the hallway on the way to the Lucas Oil Stadium, because Gen Con just takes over the entirety of downtown Indianapolis, including the stadium. You can game on the turf field of the Indianapolis football stadium. So yeah, that's where you can find all of our stuff. And we have so much going on. We've got scenarios running. We're launching our new year of Pathfinder Society play. We're running the 2 Starfinder playtest scenarios, which we'll talk to folks about in just a minute here. We've got 2 interactive special events happening on Friday and Saturday night, our big marquee multi-table events. And the Sagamore itself is just a spectacle. I have tons of brand new shiny banners to hang up all over the room. I'm so excited. It is quite the experience. So if you're in Indianapolis, if you're at Gen Con, if you're within driving distance of Indianapolis, quite frankly, you should come and see us because it's a time, and just, you know, come and say hi and check the place out. We've also got some panels and live shows happening. Rue, you know more about the panels and live shows than I do, so why don't you give the people a quick rundown? I should say, if you want to sign up for any of these events, go to gencon.com and you can get tickets to these panels and live shows, as well as any of our games that aren't currently sold out, which is not many of them, but you never know. Go ahead, Rue, tell people about the panels and shows.
One second, I'm adding the gencon.com
gencon.com, hooray.
But yes, so we have a variety of panels and live shows happening at the con. On Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing a Starfinder playtest live show, which will feature our managing creative director, Thurston Hillman, running some Paizo staff and some celebrity guests who you will be surprised with later when I release the promo images, playing through the Starfinder demo. So you'll get to see some Pathfinder characters and some Starfinder characters cross-playing as we show off the compatibility between the second edition of both systems.
I'm just hopping in the Twitch chat to drop links to these events as you talk about them.
You're the best, Alex. I love you so much. On top of that, if you're really itching for more Starfinder, we have 2 Starfinder panels at Gen Con. On Friday, we have the Starfinder Second Edition roadmap. So if you want a sneak peek of some of the books that are coming with the launch of Starfinder Second Edition, as well as where the playtest is going and where we might be taking some things into 2025 as we get ready for the launch of Starfinder Second Edition at Gen Con next year, be sure to stop there. I actually was talking with the Starfinder team earlier today, and I saw some of the art they plan to show off at that panel, and it is amazing. So if you're going to be on site, you definitely want to be there. And also, I will note that we are filming all of these panels, so if you can't make it to Gen Con, they will be up for you afterwards. The other Starfinder panel that we have on Saturday is called Playtest Makes Perfect, and it's going to be a panel entirely about how the Starfinder team is running their playtest. So Thurston and Jenny are going to talk about how they designed the playtest to really give a wide breadth of options for people and how they really want stress testing to happen at various points. So if you're interested in knowing sort of how our design teams take those playtest feedbacks and use them for further design, that's a really cool panel to check out. On the Pathfinder side, we've got 2 panels. We have one that is a remastered retrospective on Saturday. So since we've finished the Pathfinder remaster project, some of our Pathfinder design team is going to talk about what it was like to sort of overhaul our core rule system and incorporate a bunch of errata while also pulling away from OGL content. So if you want to hear about what that was like from the design side and maybe see some sneak peeks of some further Pathfinder rulebooks coming up, that'll be a great place for you. And then, of course, like I said, we have a huge event happening for Pathfinder, the War of Immortals. So we will also be having on Friday afternoon a War of Immortals panel. You will have people from the rules and lore side, from the adventure side, and we might even have someone coming in to tell us about how that might interact with Pathfinder Society. So if you're at Gen Con, like I said, please come to all of those if you can. You can grab your tickets at those wonderful links that Alex has placed in the chat. And if you're not going to be at Gen Con, the week or so after, once we're all back and have recovered from Gen Con, all of those videos will be uploaded to our YouTube so that you can also experience them. But also, maybe you're not going to be at Gen Con and you still want a little bit of content during the weekend. Don't worry. On Thursday at, again, 10 a.m. Eastern, so a little bit early for us Pacific Coast folks, we will be having a Gen Con keynote wherein you will hear about the biggest announcements that we're making during Gen Con from Eric, Mona, and a host of our creatives.
Sounds super exciting. I can't wait to I like Gen Con for so many reasons, but part of the reason is we get to tell people about so many things we've been sitting on for months and months and months. So it's going to be incredibly exciting. I can't wait for the keynote when we talk about the third thing they mentioned and also the sixth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that one. I'm actually super fond of the 3.5 that Eric brought up really late in that meeting.
Yeah. That one too. That one was really good. Yeah, definitely. And also the last thing they announced, obviously great.
Of course, they always save the best for last.
They save the best for last. Yeah.
I do have one more thing to talk about. Gen Con.
Yeah. Okay. Talk about Gen Con.
I have one last thing that I want to talk about, and that is that the Ennies happen at Gen Con, and we are wonderfully proud to be nominated in 2 categories. Pathfinder Player Core is nominated in the Best Rules category, and the Pathfinder Lost Omens Tian Xia World Guide is nominated for the Best Setting category. So just if you happen to have some free time and you want to fill out a voting ballot for the Ennies, we would obviously very much appreciate your support. And there are also dozens of other really cool games that are nominated for Ennies this year. And if you're going to be at Gen Con, the Ennies ceremony, I believe, is Friday night, and I will be there, so you can come and see me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super excited to be sort of back in that race. Glad we got some stuff that we managed to get submitted. And yeah, absolutely, folks, definitely vote for our stuff if you like our stuff. Vote for, as Rue said, there's a bunch of other wonderful products out there that have been nominated this year. So definitely check those out. And yeah, the link to vote is in the chat. I put it there. I hope I typed it right. And if I didn't, oops.
If you didn't, it's right here.
There it is, 2020, Paizo.me/2024 Ennies. But yeah, absolutely, we really love to, we love medals, right? We love medals.
We do. And with that, I think that's everything that I had to talk about for Gen Con. Did I miss anything on your end?
I think that's probably about all of Gen Con. There's a lot of stuff going on. Highly recommend just swinging by, checking out our stuff, and, saying hi to the creatives and the Paizo staff who will be there. Plenty of us will be there to say hello and make sure to tell all of the designers and developers about your character. Okay, let's see. With that, I think we should transition to the next section, which is all about me and, more importantly, my besties from the Starfinder team. So Rue, hit the magic buttons.
I sure will, after a couple of these quick ads.
Oh, great. A word from our sponsors, us.
The year is 324 AG, and Dimelco is at war with itself. The Colossi took everything from us. They razed our cities and trampled our world into dust. Oceans boiled and the ground quaked with their footsteps. Millions perished. The survivors fled underground to hide like the prey they were. Then we learned to fight back. We built war machines from the wreckage of our shattered past. We called them Valkos. The brave souls who piloted them were the Huskars. They fought for a new home in this broken world at great cost. That was 200 years ago. Now we still defend New Valor against the Colossi that would destroy it. Some say we're winning. Our tech is getting better. New allies from across the galaxy join our fight every day. But if we can adapt, the monsters can too. We survived the apocalypse once, and we can do it again. My name's Commander Vadian Wayno, call sign Raptor. I've been fighting this war for a long time, but I can't do it alone. That's why the New Valor Defense Force needs you to suit up and fight back against the Colossi. I won't lie to you. They're bigger, faster, and sometimes I even wonder if they're smarter than us. But with your help, we can beat them and take our planet back for good. Think you have what it takes to be a Huskar? Join me. Together we can take Dimalco back from the monsters. For us, it's the rebirth of our homeworld. For them, it's Mechageddon.
In 316 AG, the Galactic Explorers League, known as the Starfinder Society, lost over 80% of its membership during a mission into the region of space known as the Scoured Stars. Following the mission, a golden barrier encompassed the distant Trinary star system, and contact has been cut off ever since. You and your friends are recently graduated Starfinders, finding yourselves in a galaxy where the Society's future rests in your hands. Or whatever appropriate alien appendages you possess. It's up to you to rebuild the fractured Starfinder Society, make allies at home and in distant regions of space, fend off new and ancient threats alike, and eventually solve the mystery of the Scoured Stars. All in a day's work for a Starfinder. The Scoured Stars is a 260-page hardback epic adventure that takes your Starfinder characters from 1st to 15th level, containing 12 distinct adventures. This science fantasy campaign has the players take center stage as a new generation of Starfinder, working to uncover the secrets of the region of space known as the Scoured Stars. Along the way, you'll travel across the cosmos in your starship, make first contact with alien species, encounter emerging galactic threats, explore ancient ruins, and build a coalition of powerful allies to tackle whatever the Scoured Stars has to throw at you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Paizo Live, our wonderful fireside chat stream here. My name is Alex Speidel. I'm back here to talk about Starfinder Second Edition with two of our wonderful developers, Dustin and Mike. Why don't you two introduce yourselves to the people real quick? Dustin, you go first.
Hi, my name is Dustin Knight, Starfinder developer.
And my name is Mike Kimmel, also Starfinder developer.
Welcome to the show. Wonderful to have you both. Before we start talking about Starfinder 2, because I really like to tease the people as long as possible, what have the two of you been playing lately? What's new and other, of course, than Starfinder 2, which I'm sure you've been playing a ton?
I am currently on and off running a game of the Alien tabletop role-playing game. I'm not using the Alien movie setting. I'm using my own kind of weird thing, but it's pretty fun to dip into some truly horrifying gaming every now and then.
Absolutely. Dustin, what have you been playing lately?
Other than Pathfinder and Starfinder of various editions, just a couple days ago, for the first time in many years, I started playing Commander Magic the Gathering again, and via webcams, and that's been really fun.
Excellent. Well, it is wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Starfinder Second Edition's playtest starts in, I think, 20 days, right? The start of Gen Con. I'm sure the team is really excited to get it out into the world. Recently, I know that y'all have started previewing some of the classes on the blog. One of my favorites that you've previewed very recently was the Solarian, our sort of stellar knight there. What are you two most excited for about the updates to this class?
Dustin, you go first.
Oh, well, I love the versatility of being able to kind of make your own solar weapon and really hit the flavor on it and have that reflected in the mechanics. During one of our playtests, I had a Solarian who was just kind of both meleeing and shooting giant drills at people, and I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I love that it's no longer a choice between like you can have weapon or armor and your weapon is melee or range. You're just like have all of the toys. I think it's really fun. Mike, what are you excited for about the Solarian?
I'm excited for. There's a build I've been kind of toying with that uses a shield, so you know that the Solarian can get their solar weapon and armor and their solar flare, their ranged attack. But they also have the option of picking up a shield at first level that's like a floating energy shield that protects them. And then of course there's feats that build on that, and I'm really excited to use those.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I said this in the blog comments, but the Solarian is only my second favorite class to play because I'm such a charisma main, and so the Envoy is super, super fun for me. But the Solarian is just so good. So good. I'm so excited. Like I said, the playtest is out in about 20 days. I know the team has been working on this for quite some time. I don't even know exactly how long. What are the two of you just like most excited for people to finally see? Like what's most exciting for you just as the playtest releases here?
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I am super excited for people to see more of, I'll say, Witch Warper, frankly, which we previewed a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about more of that, more Witch Warper things in a little bit, but that's something that I made some contributions to that I'm eager to get feedback on and see what people think of them. And so it's hard to wait 20 more days.
But worth it, right?
Yeah. While Mystic is my favorite class, I think I'm really excited to see people's reaction to our skill feats.
Heck yeah.
Do you want to expand on that or just leave that as a tease for the people?
I'll just leave that as a tease for the people. If you watch our PaizoCon panel, we had a tease of a spread that showed some skill feat tables that you can find around the internet. There's some really flavorful, fun skill feats that add whole new dimensions of fun, interesting things you could do.
New dimensions of fun, you say. Work on that, internet sleuths. I don't know anything about this, by the way. You know, that might mean nothing, but I've decided it means something. So a place where people will get to sort of use these new classes and these new skill feats we're releasing several different playtest adventures, but I think, you know, all of us kind of came out of organized play, so I'm excited to talk about the playtest scenarios, and each member of the Starfinder team wrote a playtest scenario. Can the two of you sort of talk about, I guess Mike first, because yours is on screen, talk a little bit about what your playtest adventure is focusing on?
Sure. So Shards of the Glass Planet is an adventure where you visit a planet that for as long as anyone can remember has been surrounded by an impenetrable energy barrier, but that barrier is recently starting to crack and to collapse onto the planet. And so you're going down and investigating and trying to figure out, why are there no people here? Why is there no life here? What is going on? Before the entire planet is, you know, covered in these giant energy shards. So that is Shards of the Glass Planet. It's kind of like a first contact type adventure where you go down and explore a planet for the first time in memory.
Yeah, very, very exciting, kind of classic, I think, space fantasy where it's like, here's a planet, we don't know what's up, let's go check it out, right?
Yeah.
This, of course, is one of the two scenarios that we'll be running at Gen Con, along with Jessica Catalan's scenario, It Came from the Vast, for level 5 characters.
I'm so excited for that. It's so spooky and it's so fun.
The title is just so evocative. I think it tells you exactly what you're in for right from the jump. And yeah, from what I have heard, it is ultra spooky. And then, so these are the two that are releasing on August 1st with the launch of our playtest rulebook. Our next one, I believe, doesn't release until the end of September, but that is, I believe, yours, Dustin.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about my favorite adventure?
Well, it is called Wheel of Monsters. It is I
think it has to be pronounced properly. I think it's Wheel
of
Monsters.
Yes. It is a game show in which our celebrity Zoe spins a giant wheel, and whatever it lands on, you fight that monster in a number of fun arenas that will give you a great opportunity to just enjoy the tactical combat Starfinder 2 has to offer. There are some special rules, guidelines in there, optional guidelines for running them at conventions or streaming to help make it feel more like a game show with an audience participation and whatnot. And I'm really excited about it. There's some really fun, interesting monsters in there, and really fun characters the GM gets to role play out, and win fabulous prizes and have a good time.
Yeah, this is also, I believe, a 10th level adventure, right? So you can get some real heavy hitting monsters in there at this point.
Right.
You don't have to be worried, right? I mean, 10th level PCs are tough.
Yeah, make sure to fill out those forms completely, because Zoe Media Emerald Prizes is cannot be held liable for any injuries or worse that might happen during the production of the show.
Absolutely. I love that our 4 kind of playtest scenarios are taking us kind of into 4 very different genres as well. We have like the classic science fantasy, we've got some space horror. I think Dustin's is really the most emblematic of like the Starfinder brand, and I mean that as sincerely and positively as possible, where it's weird, it's fun, it's a little out there, it's very exuberant. I think it's great, and I'm so excited for that as a game show fan.
It's also the 3rd time Paizo has had me write a repeatable scenario in which there's a boat in the opening scene.
Author trademark unlocked.
Yes.
We've also got some other playtest adventures rather that we are releasing. A couple of softcover print adventures. Our first one releases on August 1st as well. A Cosmic Birthday by our very own Jenny Jarzabski. Rue and I talked a little bit about this. Do either of you want to give people sort of the top level overview if they didn't watch that opening segment? What's a Cosmic Birthday about?
A Cosmic Birthday. Well, first I must say happy birthday. Happy birthday to the newborn. So a Cosmic Birthday is a 64-page module that spans first, second, and third level. So you reach level 4 by the end of it. So it is a full-on adventure where you are on Absalom Station when a ripple of horrible cosmic energy, like from a cosmic horror creature, like rips through Absalom Station and causes all kinds of problems for you and just about everybody else. And so it's kind of like, where were you when the newborn hatched from Octurne? And you have to survive these weird interdimensional horrors and then help a community get back on its feet, and then go again once more into like the weird liminal dimension of the ghost levels, and hopefully survive long enough to put a stop to the disaster.
Hopefully
so, yeah, it's no big deal.
The
cool thing about this playtest adventure is that, like, yes, it is part of the playtest, and it'll be part of the survey process on starfinderplaytest.com. But also, like, if you played this a year from now, 2 years from now, it's still just a fully compatible, full-on adventure. Like, it doesn't have to be part of the playtest if you played it later. We obviously want you to play it as soon as possible and give us feedback. But
yeah, I saw someone say it's a baby adventure path, and really that is, I think, the approach with these softcover adventures. It's Starfinder adventures. They happen to be during the playtest, but this is, especially, I think this one is really gonna advance the setting, I think, and the story a lot. This is a huge deal, right? A new god hatching.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about that and perhaps enjoy newborn adventures right now because you can't wait till Gen Con, you could also check out Octurne Asunder, Starfinder Society Scenarios 703?
703, yep.
703.
Yes, which just came out, and will give you some more intimate proximity to all of the craziness.
Everything is so normal in that scenario. Everything is so normal all of the time, always. There's another softcover adventure coming out, which we'll talk more about in the coming months, called Empires Devoured, which starts at 10th level, I think. Not going to talk too much about that today, but another super exciting, big, punchy adventure. So lots of Starfinder playtest adventure content coming up. Anything else you want to highlight from the Cosmic Birthday before we talk about my bestie Zamir and the Witch Warper?
I was going to ask you about the art.
Who are these little guys?
This is a hard light scamp. You might be familiar with elemental scamps. Well, we've got this little hard light hologram scamp, and then of course a little bug A little bug.
He's so cute.
Little bug.
He's so cute.
Just a few of the friends and foes here who you might meet in your adventures on Absalom Station. Some of whom want to help you out, perhaps, and some of which are, goblins with roto lasers and hand grenades to ruin your day.
This is
or
fine, actually.
to give you after you take their hit points away.
I think that goblin is a friend, so I will make friends with them. So yeah, that's Cosmic Birthday out on August 1st, available for purchase, Paizo.com, at Gen Con, or wherever fine Starfinder playtest products are sold. Let's talk a little bit about the Witch Warper, which I think we just posted the preview for today. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Here's our iconic Witch Warper, Zamir. I love him very much. Do you want to talk a little bit about who Zamir is, kind of what the Witch Warper class is overall for those who might not be familiar?
So Witch Warpers, kind of the defining aspect of a Witch Warper is that some sort of strange event, paradoxical event, forever altered their existence. So were they messing around with an alien device? Did they spend a brief time in an alternate timeline or another dimension or something like that? Were they doing an experiment that went wrong, like Zamir here? And that experience forever alters them and also gives them the ability to alter reality by creating paradoxes and casting spells and doing all kinds of weird stuff. So that is a Witch Warper.
Yeah, they are, I believe, a spellcasting class. So they're throwing the magic around. They're carrying, in Zamir's case, a big lantern around. So love that for him.
Mm-hmm.
We previewed the Witch Warper today. I don't know. Tell me some exciting things about the Witch Warper. What's new and exciting? What can people expect when they crack open that playtest rulebook in this particular class?
Oh, well, the first thing you'll see is that they are a full, up to 10th level spells, spellcaster. In Starfinder First Edition, we had spells that only went up to level 6. Starfinder Second Edition will be fully compatible with Pathfinder, and so you get all the ranks of spells all the way up to 10. And so I think that's like one of the first things you'll notice is that they're just a full-on big, powerful spellcaster, right alongside Mystic as well. Dustin, what would you say is like the first thing?
The first thing I noticed reading the class was the when we first passed them around in the initial development and talked about them, was the quantum field, being able to create big zones on the battlefield where cool stuff happens that you could interact with in interesting ways. I'm always up for that. It's gonna be super fun. It's really evocative, and it's something that no other class really does.
Yeah, super exciting. I've been running some training sessions for our Starfinder GMs at Gen Con and trying to figure out how to describe each class, and kind of finding those in Witch Warper has kind of been tricky for me just because it does something that not a lot of other classes do. So I'm very excited for people to kind of crack it open. Are they, give me some down and dirty details, like what kind of spells do they cast? What's their key ability? Give me some crunchy stuff here. Tell me some stuff.
So one change to Witch Warper right now, their key ability is intelligence. Kind of the lore here being that, grappling with all of these paradoxes and alternate realities is something that they have to understand, right, and calculate, which is a change from charisma. So of course we're playtesting that and seeing how that goes. One thing that we have talked a lot about is that the precog, which was a Starfinder First Edition class about weird timeline stuff and messing with time, manipulating time, is now part of the Witch Warper class. They are a paradox option that you can choose, so that's cool and fun. That's one of, I think, 4-ish different paradoxes you can choose. And one new thing, a concept that we've talked a little bit about in today's blog, is that we took kind of the concept of an anchor from the precog and given it to witch warpers. So every witch warper has something, whether it's like a memory or a concept or a literal physical object like a lamppost, that is their anchor that keeps them grounded in their reality while they're doing all of these paradoxical things. And that anchor kind of gives you some unique abilities and things that you can do to interact with your big quantum field area effect that Dustin was talking about. But it's like, I think it's cool that witch warpers don't just choose like, this is my paradox and that's the defining feature of my class, but actually you pick both a paradox and an anchor, so you can kind of choose one of each of those things. And it gives a lot of, I think, variety to the way witch warpers will look.
Yeah, sounds like a ton of customer character customization, which is a thing we like around here, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is.
Let's see. Dustin, anything you want to share about the Witch Warper? I don't know. Have you brought any spoilers? Anything else that we can talk about that maybe the people haven't seen just yet?
Oh, well, we did bring some spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So there we go. We brought a whole page of those spoilers.
The whole page of feats. I was like, we should share 2 feats, and Dustin was like, this whole page is pretty cool.
The whole page, yeah. This page has both the feats we want to share. Let's just do the whole page.
Yeah. Dustin, what do you like from this page?
I love this layout so much. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's excellent work.
So as Mike knows what I'm going to talk about, because I won't shut up about it. I love zone feats. They were kind of thrown in toward the end of the design, and they let you apply specific effects to your quantum aura, to your quantum field. Sorry, to your quantum field.
I'm literally like leaning in to read this. Sorry, don't mind me. I haven't seen this yet.
Like here we have a feat called Danger Zone that lets you effectively apply a hazardous terrain of the specific type to your zone. So when people move around in there, they'll take some damage unless they can give you a reflex save. I do love the idea of being able to manipulate it. So like, it's not always, it can be the same if you want your character to be like, I'm from a timeline where everything's on fire, so there's fire everywhere. Or it could be, different. Like I turn us back in time and earlier this planet was on fire, so there's fire everywhere. There's so much mechanical heft in the Witch Warper that you could apply to so many different character concepts. And I really appreciate that about this class.
I also just love the idea of, I'm from a timeline where everything is on fire. You think you're in the worst timeline? Oh no, my friend. The whole universe, the whole thing is on fire.
This is fine.
This is fine. No, that's really exciting. I'm definitely excited to see some of that. As I said, I hadn't seen this page yet, so I'm just leaning in like, hello, gorgeous.
I'm not going to read through everything on here, but one kind of combo that I liked, which was the original thing that I was going to point out, is the enlarged quantum field and quantum entanglement. So the way some of these feats work, you'll notice the anchoring trait. The quantum field, which is like your little area effect thing, is an effect that must be sustained. So normally you have to spend an action every turn to keep that thing around. But we have anchoring abilities, and some spells are anchoring, and some abilities you gain from feats are also anchoring. So when you use these abilities, it automatically sustains your quantum field. You don't have to do the sustain action. You can just do some other ability. Your anchor gives you an anchoring ability, obviously, right? It's in the name. And then you can choose these other ones later. So basically, as you're using these to make your quantum field bigger and to trap enemies within it, you're also fulfilling that requirement of sustaining it. So it's just this cool, I don't know, I think it's fun.
Yeah, no, I love that. You're sustaining it and getting to do something else. I love that. Well, that's all super exciting. Thank you both so much for joining us today. Mike and Dustin are going to be back at the end of the show for our Q&A segment. So if you have questions that they didn't answer, feel free to drop them into the chat. Our wonderful moderators are compiling them, and then I will interrogate them ruthlessly at the end of the show. But for now, I think we are going to wave goodbye. We are going to go to another word from our sponsors, ourselves, and we will be back with Rue, Eleanor, and James to talk about the Tian Xia Character Guide. So stay tuned for that.
Thanks, Alex.
You've made names for yourselves as adventurers over the years, yet now it seems adventure has found you instead. Mysterious and magical hero cards have appeared among your belongings. Where did they come from? And what of the strange powers they grant? The brass dwarf protects you from fire and other harmful effects. The empty throne overwhelms your foes with hopelessness and despair. The paladin defends you from harm and protects you from peril. And the rabbit prince lets you strike at foes with great accuracy. But be careful his advice doesn't shatter your blade. There are so many more cards out there to be found. They've been scattered across the world, so now the hunt is on. With each card you gather, your power grows. Before long, you will use this power to travel to places beyond reality itself. Yet still, the question remains, where have these cards come from? Who could have created them? And for what purpose? And what of the fiendish armies and monstrous foes who gather against you and seek the cards for themselves? You race against time, gathering these treasures before they're used against you. Will your quest lead you to legendary realms and grant the destiny you deserve? Or are you merely pawns, unwittingly serving mysterious forces who watch from afar, waiting for the right time to pluck your futures away? In the end, what chance do adventurers have against those who would steal fate itself?
In the nation of Shenmin, spirits and monsters stalk the depths of Spectre Wood, and ghost towns outnumber those inhabited by living souls. But this was not always the case. Over 100 years ago, the Age of Lost Omens began in Tian Xia with the collapse of the mighty Lunghua Empire, an event that left the small towns of Shenmin isolated and forced their citizens to become self-sufficient or fall to ruin. Willow Shore was one such town. Founded to support the construction of a remote mountain monastery, Willow Shore soon transitioned over to a lumber town, and like so many others, it was forced to fend for itself in the years after the Empire's fall. Not 2 years later, the records speak of a mysterious curse that fell upon the town, and while details of what took place have been lost to time, the events of Willow Shore's Season of Ghosts will now be told. The Season of Ghosts begins during the first days of summer, and is a time when the unquiet spirits of Spectrewood grew particularly restless. The townsfolk of Willow Shore celebrate this with a night of feasting on the last day of spring, but when a group of heroes wakes the day after, they find their hometown under siege. Fog shrouds the town, and the night sky shimmers under the light of a crimson moon, and monsters now stalk freely through the town's streets. While defending the monstrous invaders and lighting the town's protective eternal lantern could restore Willow Shore to safety, these invaders and strange manifestations are only the beginning, as walls of ghostly shapes rise in the surrounding woods. The town of Willow Shore has become cursed, and its people must band together if they are to survive the coming year and the horrific monsters they will face. Can the town's newest heroes save their homes, family, and themselves? Or will the Season of Ghosts mean the end for them all?
It would help if I unmuted my microphone, maybe. Sorry about that.
The sea witch has stolen Rue's voice.
Sea witch indeed. Thank you. I hard muted myself and forgot to unhard mute. But yes, as I was going to say, hello and welcome to the segment about the Tian Xia Character Guide. And I am joined by two of our wonderful developers.
Hi everyone, I'm James Case. I'm lead developer on the Rules and Lore team, and I was the design lead for the Tian Xia project.
Which is not confusing. And I'm Eleanor Ferron. I am a senior developer on the Lost Omens Rules and Lore side as well. And I was the developer on the Tian Xia project.
And this segment is mostly going to be about the character guide, but I did want to take some time to congratulate y'all on the release of the Tian Xia World Guide, which came out this past April. And also, in that same vein, congratulate you for the ENnie nomination that the Tian Xia World Guide has received. And once again, I'm going to put these fun little posters up. I might bring them up again later. Our art director, Sonia, made these, and they are phenomenal.
Yes, if you liked our Tian Xia World Guide, we would be honored if you would vote for us in the ENnies and very carefully read the instructions, because 5 is not the highest rating. It is the lowest. If you did not like our World Guide, but you enjoy memes, we would also like you to vote for our World Guide so you can elect the Swamp Kraken president.
Yeah, this the Tian Xia project is really a thing that Eleanor and I have been wanting to do for a very long time. We had over 40 contributors on both the World Guide and the Character Guide, and everybody really just brought their own little take of Asian culture or folklore or what have you, whether those are stories that people heard growing up, whether that's things that people kind of experience in their day-to-day, whether that's just cool ideas that everyone had. And it really is an honor to be nominated in the category, and I would be very happy if everybody voted for that, and all sorts of other cool projects as well.
Having done my little bit of shilling, which I'm required to do, now I'm going to turn it over to talking about the Character Guide, which comes out in August, correct?
Yes.
End of
it'll come out
August.
at the end of August, so we are just about there. So here we can see the cover. Eleanor, what are we looking at?
We are looking at what is colloquially known as the Thousand Yokai Parade. There's a Japanese term for it, which I never remember, but it's basically it is what it says on the tin. It's a mythological thing where a whole bunch of the creepy crawlies and weird things from Japanese folklore come out and have a grand old time. And the reason I chose to depict this on the cover is to show how most of these, almost all of them, not all of it, almost all of them, can be playable in Pathfinder Second Edition. Even the little hoppy shoes that are looking so delightful on the cover, you can play those when you have your hands on the Tian Xia Character Guide. You can play the Kitsune, you can play the Tengu, you can play the Hopping Lantern, the Tanuki, that looks like it might be a ghost or even a Samsaran in the back, the Oni, all of those things. It's probably even a flesh warp with that guy with the one eye and his tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
I'm glad
the one
that
thing
you
we
guessed.
could not get is the cap. Sadly, we did not have space, but you could play an Undyne Awakened Turtle, and I think that would probably be good enough.
I'll get you there, yeah. Yeah, I really like this cover. This is actually one of the references is a photo I had in my phone, which was one of the. It's a waterfall. It's one of the first places I went when I lived in Japan. It was kind of a neighborhood place, and it figured it would be a nice little backdrop here for our Ghost Parade to go through. Yeah, so the Tian Xia Character Guide is absolutely full of character options. Like Eleanor said, there is a lot of things you can play. Everything from a hopping shoe to a reincarnating person. We have a lot. We have 6 completely brand new playable ancestries. That's the Tanuki, the Samsarans, who reincarnate, the Wangs, who are all shadowy, the Sarangai, who are water buffalo-headed people with magical earrings and a connection to the moon and earth. Yaoguai, which are shape-shifting Chinese mythological figures, and Yaksha, which swear vows to defeat all sorts of spirits and that sort of thing. And so we thought we might just make up some characters on chat. So that's coming from outside of my window. Pay no heed to it.
I hope you are okay.
But I promise I'm gonna take that into a segue here. Everyone in chat, I'm just gonna ask you a really simple question: green or blue? Just put one of those two things into the chat if you have a thought, or green or purple, I suppose.
Oh my god!
Well, too late, James.
God.
You said blue.
All the blue is purple. All the blues are going to purple now.
I cannot follow the chat.
I think I will safely say that blue-purple is winning.
Okay. Can you give us Kobold A, please?
Absolutely.
One of the many things we have here incoming in the book are new kobolds. We have 2 new heritages of kobold coming in this book. One is the Heaven Scribe kobold, which is based on Imperial dragons, and the other, if you heard those banging outside, would be a Mighty Fall kobold who draw their power from kaiju. With one of the changes coming in Pathfinder Player, I told you I'd segue it. With one of the changes coming in Pathfinder Player Core, kobolds can now gain magic from any sufficiently powerful entity or sort of event or nexus. Many of them hang around dragons because it turns out dragons are large and powerful entities. But we realize we also have another one of those in Tian Xia, and those are kaiju. So what's he got there?
This particular kobold is the Heaven Scribe kobold that has a special ability to speak to koi, those delightful ornamental fish which may or not be able to turn into dragons. There has been no confirmation on that. But in this case, the kobold has a tofu bucket and has koi in it because kobolds love taking care of kois to honor their patron dragons.
Yes. I think that ties into one of the gods we have in the World Guide as well, right?
Yes. Well, several, I suppose, depending. But the one you probably refer to is Jinli, our little fish who is doing his best to turn into a dragon, and has also been worshipped by bureaucrats who really want a promotion. They see the idea of this little koi jumping over a waterfall and turning into a dragon. They say, please let me jump over a waterfall and become upper management with a high salary. And so they take care of koi to gain the favor of Jinli for that kind of prayer.
I really like there's this idea of kobolds want to become mighty someday, and koi similarly also strive to become mighty dragons someday. So they have a bit of affinity there. I do like that one of the things that might be useful if you're a bureaucrat is to get secrets on your enemies, and you can get that with the Koi Secrets feat, which lets you speak to goldfish, carp, koi, anything like that, gossip with them and learn secrets. I think that's a good fun.
That sounds...
Goldfish will sell you out for a single worm.
I was going to say, that sounds extremely dangerous for, like, the sheer number of koi fish ponds that exist, and how easy it must be to be like, here are some fish food. Tell me everything that everyone has said to you.
On the bright side, koi are not known to be the smartest of fish, so you might be okay.
It's okay. They're pretty. They don't have to be smart.
Let's see. Let's go back to that kobold for a bit.
Yeah, sorry.
So, chat, what are we feeling about this guy? Like, maybe what does he kind of do? He doesn't seem, maybe he's a fighter. What kind of character might this be? And maybe from that we might be inspired to look for some sort of character.
We are hearing perfect baby. He's a baby.
He's a baby. There are no baby options in.
Eleanor thinks that there might be baby options. I'm seeing a lot of like magic classes, oracle, sorcerer,
okay.
thaumaturge.
Yeah. All right. I mean, maybe that familiar could be one of maybe that koi could be one of his familiars. I know that's a thing we have a lot of in this book.
Koi druid.
Yeah.
Chef detective.
Well, we had mentioned the familiar master that is in this book.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that we have a slide for that.
No. But you know, one thing that Imperial dragons do is breathe out energy. We in a lot of mythologies, there's kind of a thing about like elixirs or dragon elixirs, and so one of the higher level feats that maybe a magical character might take is the Imperial Dragon Potion feat. This lets you brew an energy breath potion once per day that has the it has the specific magic of whatever your Imperial Dragon benefactor is. That could be like a forest dragon or a sea dragon or a sky dragon, and then whoever drinks that potion, instead of its normal effects, they breathe out whatever that dragon's breath weapon is. So, you know, if your benefactor is a sea dragon, you can breathe out a bunch of water that deals bludgeoning damage. Or if they are a sovereign dragon, a psychic roar. Or because forest dragons do be weird like that, you know, a cone of insects.
You know.
Wait, I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Forest dragons can breathe out venomous insects instead of fire or anything like that.
That is amazing.
Like
also,
you do. Like forests do.
That sounds like a wonderful potion to drink and then proceed to just have bugs.
Stop spewing cicadas all over the table. They just scream and die.
But you could also give it to your party members in case they need it as well. So that's like so maybe that's a thing that we could get from a magical kobold.
You know, I think I may quibble with you on the not having any perfect babies in our book, and I feel like we might have some slides of two potential perfect babies. Does the chat feel more sweet or more flowery today?
All right, everybody, sweet or floral? Wait a minute. Can I do that from here in a quick enough manner? Maybe.
The chat is just saying baby, which is not helpful.
No, we've already clicked the baby category. You have to click another.
We're subdividing under it.
Oh, here we go. I've got it. I'm making a poll, everybody.
Let's go.
Baby or no, not baby. Which baby? Flower or sweet? And I will give you all 1 minute to answer this poll. I do not want baby, I want power, says someone in the chat. But yeah, while we're touching base about that, I know we're not showing them off on the screen necessarily, but what was sort of the most fun for you guys in developing these new kobold heritages and sort of getting to touch into the roots of like kaiju as a heritage for kobold, which is something that like probably didn't occur to many people before this book?
I like the idea of something that is really small, thinking that it is like very big.
That's me. You are describing me.
Like if you watch the Owl House before Disney ruined it, which I will never forgive them for, there is a character who turns out to be a member of a group of creatures that is very large. But that particular person is about kobold sized, or maybe like a small yappy dog. So if you watch that and you know who I'm talking about, you can probably get the idea of something that is entirely too big for its britches, and whether it understands that or not, what it has to go through to kind of figure itself out when it has that kind of power.
It looks like
Sweet is our winner. I will say it was quite close. It was only 53 to 47 in terms of the percentages. So
well, maybe we'll show both at some point. But why don't you show us Leshy number A?
Ta-da!
Yeah, as you can see, they are very baby-ish, and you might not initially recognize. Yes, the Peach Child Leshy, based off of the Legends of Momotaro from Japan, who appeared when he was when his parents cut open a peach, and he was just, there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I could do that.
Wow. Well, that's a question. We could have Robogun kobolds, but they are not appearing in this book.
we have many other evil entities and demon spawns and what in Tian Xia. Yes.
But back to the Leshy, because of that origin story where a child came out of a peach, we had the peach child Leshy have a feat and an ability to look very, very human. In fact, you can only tell that he is a Leshy because of the little peach leaves coming off of his hair. That might look like a decoration, but it's actually a sprout. He is photosynthesizing for you. And likewise with the Legend of Momotaro, he's got a little pheasant on his shoulder because that was one of his animal companions in the myth. When he took a pheasant and a dog and what was the other one? A monkey?
I think was the last one.
Yeah, those were his friends, and they went and beat up ogres and demons.
Yeah.
So
the Peach Child Leshy is something that's probably really good if you like having animal companions or anything like that. They, in addition to some diplomacy that lets them speak with animals, they also have an ability called Unassuming Heroes, where they can feed a little snack. It can be a millet dumpling, but it can be pretty much anything. And if you feed a snack to an animal companion, it not only is likely to, play along with you, but it helps you fight. You can give it the effects of a striking rune or ghost touch, depending on that sort of thing. So it'll be a really good thing if you want to. If you want to play that kind of more Beastmastery, Druid or Ranger kind of character. That sort
Do you
of
think
thing.
we should be kind and show them the other baby? It was a very close poll.
Sure.
Okay.
The other one.
Okay.
Oh, the other baby.
Here's the other baby.
Yeah. So this does tie into the sort of, these are both a little more human, just because those come up in mythology. A lot of these kind of plant people are a little more on the human side.
Yeah, you have Kaguya, who you cut open a bamboo, and she was there. And this particular one is a chrysanthemum Leshy, which is a little less humanoid looking, but could still pass if you're squinting.
Yeah, so you might expect for these chrysanthemums are very inspiring flowers. They have the ability to sort of bloom proudly, which can help your enemies help your allies not get knocked out, because you just kind of radiate strength around. You can call kodamas, other smaller little spirits. They have a good number of abilities that are kind of more on this very magical side of things.
What was the name of the ruler from the Neverending Story? This girl always gives me that kind of vibe.
Childlike Emperor.
Yeah, the childlike
I haven't seen it
emperor.
in a very long time.
The childlike emperor, I think, is correct.
Yeah. I think she kind of gives me that vibes just because she is a childlike Leshy empress.
Yeah, they're very regal, and so you'll see a lot of abilities like that. And I think
I see in the chat people asking if druids are
childlike empress
like Leshies, and in Tian Xia you can, but in Tian Xia they sometimes just show up. And nobody's quite sure why. There's just a giant peach there, and you cut it open, and there's a Leshy inside.
Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah. And I think we have time to pick one more character.
Yeah. Tell me right now what the question is, so that I can get the poll going.
I say if we want a spellcaster or a martial character.
All right.
Let's do the classic magic versus martial debate.
Oh no.
Oh
James,
boy.
that can of worms you have just spilled upon the ground.
Oh no.
All right, here we go, everybody. Tell us if you want me to show you a magic character or a martial character.
Magus doesn't count. Stop that.
We have talked at length about the Magus hybrid studies coming in this book, though. That's Olu Firmament, which lets you, these are both based on kind of wuxia stories, or some of them are a little higher fantasy than that, cultivator type stuff. But the Olu Firmament Magus lets you jump very long distances, become weightless, shine sword light at people to stab them. And then we also have the Unfurling Brocade, which fights with Chi Enhanced String. Those are and lets you do a lot of underhanded things like, tripping and repositioning your enemies and that kind of thing. So for the people who said Magus, there will be options for that. Yes.
All right, with a really close 38 to 36 in terms of votes, Marshall has won.
Okay, let's show off our warrior then.
All right, which one would you like? You gave me 2.
Pick one.
All right, here we go.
Okay. So I like this art a lot.
I want to know about all of the hands behind them very much, because when I pulled this art, I was like, oh, they have a leaf, like a tree branch wheelchair. And then I got closer and I was like, oh no, those are hands. I can't wait to be told what that means.
And it's just his chair. His chair is the hands, and the wheels are a type of yokai. That's a real yokai. I didn't make it up. Somebody else made it up, technically speaking.
This is one of our monks, and I think the chair just is a nice example of some kind of Tian flavor, maybe with some flaming runes on some bladed wheels. I'm not quite sure on that one. Unsurprisingly, we do have a lot of feats for, monks and martial artists of all kinds in this book. Some of them are pretty traditional. We have new martial artist feats that some of which take some inspiration from real life martial arts, and some of which are a little more fantasy forward. Again, we do see some influences of supernatural creatures like kaiju dragons and some of those stances. Let me pull up.
Somebody called it a massage chair in chat, but, I could go for one of those right now.
I was thinking, I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user, so sometimes I am in a chair, and there's nothing I hate more than when someone comes up behind me and tries to push my chair for me without asking. And so I just imagined the absolute horror someone would have if they tried to do that, and instead 30 hands just grabbed their hand.
30 hands all like, no. Ask permission.
Maybe this monk is a practitioner with something like rushing goat stance, which lets you charge and knock people over. That's it's one of its specializations. We also have some other cool stances, which I'll just say the names because I think they're cool. We have a twisting pedal stance, and we have a kaiju stance, and those can upgrade into abilities that I will just name but not say anything. Which are called Whirling in the Summer Storm and World-Breaking Footfall. So these have some abilities that take you really through the end of your career. And there's
I do believe that the Russian goat stance gives you a headbutt attack, but I guess it does not say it has to be your head. So with this wheelchair user, perhaps the wheels do the headbutting for you.
The Five Gods Ram ability, where you attack in an unceasing flurry of headbutts. You can stride or climb, and then slam them. And if you are successful, you can keep doing this.
Amazing.
Yes. I think that's about it. So we hope that you're all looking forward to the Tian Xia Character Guide. You can pre-order it now or subscribe to Lost Omens line. And again, don't forget that the Tian Xia World Guide is up for an Ennie for best setting. And we'd be very honored if you went and you voted #1 for it, one for your first choice. Voting's open for, I think, about a week.
It's about a week and a half. I believe it closes on the 21st.
Yeah.
So about 9 days.
All right. And I'm sure we will be having significantly more, there will be more hints into all of the cool parts about Tian Xia coming up.
Yeah. And we will actually have Eleanor and James back very shortly after another couple quick ads as we bring everybody back for our group Q&A. So keep dropping those questions in and we'll start grabbing them for our various guests. And thank you for joining me for this Tian Xia segment.
Survival in a world beset by magic and evil takes more than a lucky roll of the dice. Complete your Pathfinder Core Rulebook collection with Player Core 2, an expansion on character options for the remastered Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set. Tinker and test out formulas as an alchemist, make keen observations, and get to the heart of the matter as an investigator. Stand strong and ferocious as a barbarian. Take up a holy, or unholy, mantle in service of a deity as a champion. Dance through battle with the grace and bravado of a swashbuckler. Maintain a balance between mind, body, and spirit as a monk. Take hold of the innate magic in your sorceress bloodline. Explore the mysteries of your fate as an oracle. And build even more customized characters with archetypes, ancestries, versatile heritages, and more.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the final segment of the show, our wonderful little Q&A section here with all of our fantastic Paizo creators, including Rue and I. I guess if you have questions you want me to ask Rue, also put those in the chat.
Or if you have questions you want me to ask Alex.
No, those are illegal. You can't do those. Thank you all so much for dropping your questions in the chat. We really appreciate it. Please feel free to continue doing so. We will absolutely continue grilling them. Oh gosh, 94 unread comments. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to start with, I think, the question we got probably most during our Starfinder 2nd Edition segment. So for Mike and Dustin, what tradition are Witch Warpers? What flavor of spells do they cast? Tell the people.
Oh, Dustin, you're muted.
Dustin's in the.
Do you want to take one and I'll take the other?
Well, sure. So you can cast occult spells as a witch warper.
You can cast arcane spells as a witch warper.
Yay! But yes, some people sussed out that choice. It comes down to your paradox that you choose, which we might as well spoil some of those. We've talked about the precog. We have also talked about the fact that you can be a gap-influenced witch warper, and you can also be an analyst witch warper or an anomaly witch warper. You'll have to wait 20 more days to learn more about those.
But I want to know about those thingies now. I forgot what they were called. Anomalies? Anchors?
Paradoxes.
Yes,
Paradoxes. It was neither of the A
paradoxes.
words.
Yes.
Thank you. The people are sated for now.
All right, I'm going to grab a question next. And I'm going to grab a question from our... Sorry, I scrolled down. I'm going to grab a question, actually, for Alex.
No!
In those... We mentioned that we have those demos happening in Hall C, which... Ooh! I can bring that map back up. We mentioned that we're having those demos over in Hall C. Most of our games, like our organized play games, you have to reserve tickets for. Do you reserve seats at those demo games, or is it more of a come and hop in line and we'll put you on a table sort of deal?
Well, okay. Let me try and explain Gen Con's systems as succinctly as I can. The short answer is, for the demos, no, we're not pre-selling tickets to those. Those are going to be first come, first serve. We'll have people down in that hall from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or so. We definitely recommend showing up early. We definitely recommend that because people are going to want to do that. So for demos, short demos, no tickets necessary, just roll up. For anything up in the Sagamore, we are pre-selling tickets. However, we do have some seats that we've set aside for generic tickets as well. So if you would like to join the Line of Hope in the Sagamore Ballroom for any of our Starfinder playtest scenarios or anything else going on in the Sagamore Ballroom, you can do that as well. We will require generic tickets for those, which you can get from Gen Con. And that is also first come, first serve. We start queuing people up like about an hour before each of our slots. So if there's an event you really want to get into and you didn't quite get a ticket, queue up early and do your best to get into that. And if you have more questions about that, please feel free to ask us on site. Please feel free to ask on like the forums or on the Discord. We will be happy to help you navigate the arcane labyrinth that is Gen Con's systems. That's quite enough from me. Let's see. Here's an interesting one I will throw at James and Eleanor. Can you tell us about any weapons in the character guide? Are there mundane weapons? Are there magic-y weapons? I don't know. The people crave weapon knowledge.
Yes, there are. Did you want something more than that?
No, I think that's all I wanted, actually. Yes, there's weapons. Thanks so much. Next question.
There's a very small number of new basic weapons. Generally speaking, we didn't want to just make a kind of every culturally specific version of a staff or a bow, unless there was somewhere like there's an unusual hook to them. We have something like that's a little unusual here, like the eagle talon. What is it called? The
cudgel, I think. Yeah,
which is is like a long staff with a bunch of hooked blades at the end, and that was one where the rules kind of meant we should come up with another one. We have gone through and taken all of the weapons that were in either the core books or in Treasure Vault or in the back of Ruby Phoenix, and any that weren't remastered, we remastered them, and they've all been represented here. That may have ties to Tian Xia, and we've also given some guidance on what maybe some regionally specific versions of common adventuring gear might be. A writing set might have an ink stone and an inkwell and a brush instead of a quill and a pen. Quill and a what's the thing? Is it an inkwell?
Inkwell, ink pot, inkwell, ink pot.
Yeah, and of course, we've this is a high-powered fantasy game, so there are high-powered fantasy magic weapons of all of these. There are the Heavenly Rolling Flames, which are 2 windfire wheels that you can wield as a set, and you can attach them to your feet to fly. That's a very common archetype as well.
I believe we already said that the staff of Swen Wukong is in this book.
Oh yes, it is a very high-level artifact.
Why you have it, if you have it, what might happen if you keep it.
It allows you to extend the staff to deal lots of damage. It lets you It lets you kind of stand on it and then extend it to vault yourself long distances. And of course, you can hide it to the size of a needle and hide it in your ear or in your hair to keep it so you can get it into secret places. And we wanted to have a really classic godly artifact. There are a small number of artifacts in here, and all of them are pretty high fantasy.
I'm going to grab a question while we're here because some people are being wise guys in the chat. The question from multiple people is whether you can play the bridge on the Tian Xia Character cover, since you said that you can play. And yes, the answer is yes. We're calling you out. If you are a 17th level Tanuki, you can be the bridge.
Yes, because one of the Tanuki's 2 17th level capstone feats is called Landscape Form and lets you turn into any rather large size terrain feature, like an inn, a bridge, I guess, which you want to turn
into a Tanuki yourself if you keep drumming like that.
So thank you everybody, but if you are a Tanuki at the height of your power, you can in fact be a bridge.
Congratulations, everyone! You did it. Here I was standing out. Could we is there a size limit on the awakened object poppet? And you're just like, no, just be a bridge.
Eleanor, you think you're special? I can turn into a bridge now too.
I cannot be held responsible for how excitedly I stim when my coworkers talk about the cool things they write.
That's fair.
All right, I'm gonna swap over to the Starfinder team. For folks who want to learn more about Starfinder lore during the playtest, which current products or resources would you direct new players to?
The Gap. No.
I love that book.
I have a real answer.
Do you have it?
The Gap, yes, but also no. I would say I would play or run Scoured Stars and or Mechageddon. Scoured Stars, the compilation of the the organized play arc of the Skyward Stars adventures, which is like some very classic, original like Starfinder stuff. Lots of really cool lore that, you know, maybe it'll be relevant, maybe it'll just be fun, whatever. But there's that, and then of course Mechageddon is like the newest, biggest flashy thing. So like I think stories are some of the best sources of lore. So yeah, go play those adventures. And or just like organized play in general. Like right now, there's a lot of really cool plots being wrapped up in organized play, and or started some new ones. So yeah.
Yeah, I think pretty much every scenario this season is either we're wrapping up a long-standing storyline, or here's a fun thing we're about to cause problems with in second edition.
Go play org play.
Yeah. Dustin, did you have something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, real answer though. I mean, Near Space, Pact Worlds, and Ports of Call all have a lot of really cool setting information.
And the cool thing about setting information is that it's rules agnostic. So even as we move Starfinder into second edition, all of that lore is still going to be perfectly useful at your table. So that's really cool also.
I mean, you could use the Tian Xia World Guide and just throw your Witch Warper through a
time portal.
Yeah.
We've got the time traveler background from Dark Archive, I believe. Was it Secrets of Magic?
It might have been Secrets of Magic. I'm not sure. I can't remember where that one was from.
It feels Dark Archive-y to me, so that's what I'm going with. Let's see. I have a very important question for Eleanor specifically. Who is your favorite Owl House character?
Oh,
I don't know how to interpret any of that.
I don't know. They're all too good.
I thought you were going to ask Eleanor about her little friend.
No,
everyone knows who my little friend is.
Not who, but I thought maybe you would like to give some space to Godzilla. I love him.
In fact, let's just do this.
No.
Our new Pathfinder developer, everybody.
Godzilla. Is it a faux pas to ask myself a question?
No, go for
if you tell me what question you want to be asked, I will tell me which number it is on the list. That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Rue, if someone wanted to be notified when recordings get posted, what channels should they watch?
Yeah. So first off, obviously, following us on our YouTube channel, which is official Paizo or Paizo. Either one will lead you to the same channel, because YouTube does that cool thing where you can tie multiple usernames to the same flow, which I love. Or if you're not much of one for subscribing to people on YouTube, if that's not something you do, we will post about them on our socials, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Or you can join our newsletter, and when all of those videos are up, we will also put it in our newsletter so that folks can get there right from their emails if they want to go and watch those panels. Thank you, Alex.
Question for you, Rue.
Oh, okay.
Where is the any voting link once again for people who may have come in late and missed it?
Oh, I got you. I can just, can I have more than one of these on at a time? No, I can't. That's so sad. I was going to see if I could put Starfinder playtest on one side and the vote in the Ennies on the other, but I'll just swap between them as we talk. But yes, so it's paizo.me/2024 Ennies to vote for the Tian Xia World Guide and the Pathfinder Player Core. All right, it's my turn to ask a question now.
It sure is.
For the Starfinder team, question re the Witch Warper. What traditions of spellcasting does the class have access to, and if multiple... Oh, did you?
The answer's there already. I
sorry.
made you give us the answers.
Sorry, it's on here twice, so I didn't realize.
As I said, it was a very popular question.
So sorry that I'm going to ask a different question for the Starfinder team, which is we've mentioned that there will be a handful of ancestries in the playtest rulebook. What are some ancestries that you are interested in exploring after that playtest? So not necessarily that they're coming soon, but which ones are you looking forward to exploring?
I don't know, Rue. Which ones are you interested in exploring? No, I mean, I love so many of the ancestries. We have a full spreadsheet of every noun ancestry we have in Starfinder, and I look over it all the time, just thinking like, I want to write that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. If we had unlimited pages, they'd all be written by now.
Yeah, I'll just say that one of the toughest things in this role, working on Starfinder 2E, is like picking which things to, to do first, and it's really challenging because there's so many really cool ones.
I want to see my favorite little nervous starfish people again. I love them so much. Astrozoans make me so happy. I love that when they get anxious, they turn back into starfish, and then they get really embarrassed about it. Because that's relatable.
I like the little squids that keep their hydrokinetic. I like the little squids that have their hydrokinetic water bodies.
Yeah.
I forget what their names are.
Stellifera.
Stellifera.
Right? Yeah. It's probably my turn to ask a question, but I didn't have one prepared. Oh no. Friend Paizo staffers, what question should I ask you that I haven't asked yet? That's like, I have this prepared.
None. Let's all go home early.
Okay, great. It's 5:30. This isn't early.
I think I will grab this one.
Okay, great. Do that.
This one for, I guess it's for both teams. I'm gonna this question is only for one team, but I'm gonna ask it in such a way that all of you can answer. From your respective projects, so Starfinder Second Edition and the Tian Xia Character Guide, which ancestries or heritages are you most excited to see someone maybe play with compatibility-wise? So like perhaps a Kitsune in Starfinder, or perhaps a Barathru in a Tian Xia setting.
I too want to see the little mech water squid people walk around Galarian. But let's be honest, the real answer is Skittermanders.
I would say the Witch Warbler, because I totally didn't peep the blog folder early so I could read what all the changes were. Because there are a lot of places in Tian Xia where there are like reality is not working right, or there's this demon rift, and then there's the Kraken, and then there is there's just places where you're like, this would be good if maybe we could just sidestep out of this reality a little bit, where there's a giant mind controlling Kraken using its infinite storm magic. I think that's one that would be a lot of fun.
I would start a Starfinder 2E Magical Girl campaign literally right now on stream if the 5 free archetype. Let's do it. I'm up for it.
Let me just download the book real quick.
That'd be great.
Let's go.
I'm really excited to see people. I saw a question in chat about like, oh, how does melee work in Starfinder? And we've talked about Solarian in that context, which is like, it works really well. But I'm really excited to see people just like bring a barbarian into Starfinder 2E and just like, what? How does that work? I don't know. Like, let's see that in action.
They just get really mad.
Yeah.
I think I've changed my mind. I think I want a Solarian Wusha Megas who is doing the cutting threads thing, but with like starlight thread.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Laser beams.
Oh, now I want a Kitsune with like Solarian tails.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, now it's your job to do Starfinder Tian Xia Cyberpunk.
Oh no, we're making more projects.
Well, we've already got the Kitsune rules from P2 that can easily be ported over. Right. So hey,
we can do it.
Cross compatibility, it's good, folks.
Thank you to all of our guests for joining us. If you want to take a moment and tell folks where they can find you or what they can support you on coming up. Before we close out for the evening, let's start with Mike.
I'm Mike Kimmel, Starfinder developer at Paizo. You can find me on Discord and various Paizo Discords. And another place where I would love to hear from you is on StarfinderPlaytest.com, where you can send me and the rest of the team your feedback when those surveys open up, when the playtest begins.
All right, sliding down to Dustin.
My name is Dustin Knight, he, him. You can find me on hopefully every Paizo Discord as Kitsune Warlock, or on Blue Sky as Kitsune Warlock. You can also find me on the forums accessible at starfinderplaytest.com, where I read everything that's posted and try to interact when I can.
I'm James Case. I figured it out. I'm James Case. I will be at Gen Con if you will be around the booth. My socials are in the thingy because they don't say well on stream. And again, but in lieu of tracking me down, I would be happy if you went to that Annie's link and voted for both of these books. The Player Core was, a real all hands on deck project and a feat of teamwork by, everyone here. And the Tian Xia Tian Xia World Guide is a vibrant look at Asian fantasy from over 40 Asian game designers, writers, and all around cool people. So we'd appreciate your support.
And last but not least, Eleanor.
I am Eleanor Ferron. I am the senior Pathfinder developer. Do not find me on the internet. Do not perceive me at all. You can support me by voting for the Tian Xia World Guide in the Ennies. Please use the number 1 and not the number 5.
This is a really important distinction, and also one my mom called me about today. So I'm glad that everyone is on the same page. I'm going to sign off all of our guests, and then me and Alex will do a quick outro before we end. But one last thank you and goodbye to our wonderful guests.
Bye, wonderful guests. One by one they go, and now it's just us.
Now it's just us indeed. So I wanted to remind everyone that we are at Gen Con at booth 203 in the Dealer's Hall in about 2 weeks. What is it, 20 days, Alex?
20 days. Gen Con in 20 days, baby.
As well as up in the Sagamore Ballroom, doing demos in Hall C, and over with Sirenscape, doing some demos in their section as well. And on top of that, you can keep up with us on our blog or on our socials. Our next Paizo Live, we won't have one the week of Gen Con because we will be at Gen Con.
Ridiculous. We're not doing anything.
Yeah, I figured maybe they would be sad if I stopped being at the booth for a whole 3 hours to run a talk show instead of doing anything else with my job. But so we won't have one in August, but the next one will be in September. And I can tell you already that we're likely going to have some really interesting folks coming to talk about War of Immortals. So
very, very exciting. Yes.
Be ready for that. And also a reminder, if you're going to be at Gen Con, we've got some panels that you can attend, as well as some a live show and all of the things previously mentioned. If you have not already, please go and vote for us in the Ennies. And if you want to stop by the booth and say hello, or stop by the SAG and say hello to Alex, because that's where he'll be all weekend. He lives there. He's the king of the SAG. I would love to see you, and so would all of our wonderful creatives. And with that, we hope you have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful time until Gen Con, and we will see you soon.
Yes, goodbye, friends. See you at Gen Con.